It's opening day of the UN climate talks being held in Copenhagen, Denmark. And these are one of the most important climate talks being held ever. More than 190 governments are participating. And believe it or not, there's a connection between what's happening here and the Football World Cup, which will be held in South Africa next year. What's that connection, you may ask? Well, UNEP has been working with the 32 countries which have qualified for this World Cup. And today, we've managed to convince 18 of these teams to either pledge or commit to reduce their emissions. These are emissions which these teams will cause by flying to South Africa. How will this happen? Well, these teams will offset or compensate their emissions by providing money to projects. These will be projects either in their own countries or in South Africa. Now, these projects will be green or they will be development-based projects. Now, travel is very essential to greening this World Cup. Why? Because 67% of all the emissions caused by these games will be caused either by traveling teams or spectators. Making this big announcement here in Copenhagen was UNEP's executive director, Mr. Achim Steiner, and here's what he had to say.
We're not going to stop the world from functioning, from playing football, from having tournaments. On the contrary, we want to enable the world to continue to have these world tournaments, but do it in a way that actually takes care of the consequences and the costs you impose.
The next step for UNEP is to try to work with the spectators of the World Cup and to try to convince them to offset or compensate the emissions they'll be creating by flying around for the World Cup. Next year, UNEP is also working very closely with the Global Environment Facility, or GEF. We're involved in a $1 million project with them to green the games. We'll be working on renewable energy. We'll also be working with them on sustainable tourism and transport. For UNEP TV, I'm Satinder Bindra in Copenhagen, Denmark.